Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. We have a stellar show planned for you today, and we're going to kick off a 2-month contest with Hotels.com here on Tech It Out. So I'm going to tell you more about that in a moment. But first, on the show today, we're going to learn about the just unveiled Samsung Galaxy Note 10, which debuted on Wednesday. We'll talk back to school products this hour. Believe it or not, that's coming up soon. And we're also going to chat with Scopely, a popular mobile game developer, about the popularity of smartphone and tablet games and what's hot from them. I've been playing their Looney Tunes game called World of Mayhem. Really fun. All of this and more coming up on this week's Tech It Out. All right, as promised, we have a heck of a giveaway for you beginning this weekend and running until the end of September, where someone's going to win a $250 Hotels.com gift card every week. And that can be put towards any hotel you want through the Hotels.com website and app. We're giving away one per week for 8 weeks. And here's how to be eligible to win. So please make note of this. It's open to anyone in the US 18 and older, but here's what you have to do. Go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Type a sentence on why you could use a little getaway, and then include the hashtag TechItOut. That's it. A name will be randomly drawn every week. I'll announce it on the show and on social media. And if you want to read the full terms and conditions for this giveaway, by the way, it's on my website at marksaltzman.com. That's MarkSaltzman.com. There is a limit of 1 entry per person, per day, per week, but no purchase is necessary. A purchase will not increase your chances of winning. The sweepstakes, again, is open to any legal resident of the U.S. who's at least 18 years old, employees of Hotels.com, as well as the immediate family of these employees, like a spouse or parents, siblings, and their children, and other household members of those employees are not eligible to enter. All right, let me go over this again. To be eligible to win the first of 8 $250 Hotels.com gift cards, here's what you have to do. Go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com, which is spelled out as Hotels, DOCCOM, by the way. Then type a sentence on why you could use a little getaway and include the hashtag TechItOut, the name of this show. That's it. A name will be randomly drawn each week. We'll notify you, and I'll announce it on the air next week, the first of 8 winners, and then we'll do it all over again. All right? Sound good? Great. Let's get on with the show. I was at Samsung's Unpacked event last Wednesday in New York, where a few Galaxy Note 10 devices were unveiled, new smartphones. And so I caught up with Terry Chen, Director of Mobile Products at Samsung, at the event to tell us all about it. Thanks for your time, Terry. Good to see you.
Happy to be here.
Well, this is Unpacked. This is a biannual event, usually one for the Galaxy S family, and now for the Galaxy Note family in August. We're in New York for the unveiling of a few different phones. So tell us about the Galaxy Note 10 family at a high level.
You hit it. I mean, this is the first time we've actually launched more than one variation of the Note family. So 2 variations of the Note family. We have the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus. The most obvious distinguishing feature is the size of the screen. So again, it's the first thing you see. With the Note 10, we have a 6.3-inch form factor. With the Note 10 Plus, we have a 6.8-inch form factor. Now, the Note 10 was really designed for anybody who really traditionally wanted those features and functionalities and power of a Note series, but just in a device that's easier to hold in your hand. So that's why it's sitting at 6.3 inches. If you move up to the Note 10 Plus at 6.8 inches, you not only get the larger display, but you also get a few new features that I would love to talk to you about.
Yeah, let's do that. So across the board, there's it's almost all screen, just a small cutout on the front, for a little circular cutout for the front-facing camera. But other than that, there's nothing between you and your content. No. And then on the back of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, there's some extra depth sensors. Talk to us about that.
So let's stay on the front for a second. So on the front display, you're right. We've completely refined what we call the hole punch camera. So it's actually a quarter the size as the S10 Plus. So completely reduced. It's a very symmetrical design to the front of the display.
It used to be off to the top right. Now it's in the center. Right.
Now it's symmetrical, centered, smaller, so no distractions between what you want to see and your display. So number one. Number two, we've also pushed the bezels even further. So a very bezel-less design.
Which just means no border. It's all screen.
It's actually north of 95% now.
Wow, amazing.
Screen to body ratio.
Yeah, so gorgeous screen for consuming content. We'll get to the stylus pen for creating it in a moment. But so that's one of the hallmarks of the Note family. I would say three things: power, the stylus pen, and the size. Larger screen. The largest now Note ever created at 6.8 inches.
100%. 6.8 inches, and yet thinner and lighter than the Note 9. So from a footprint standpoint, it's actually very comparable to the Note 9, but thinner and lighter.
Okay, so we flip around the device, and they look the same with all the different camera lenses on the back, but the Note 10 Plus has some depth sensors, and what's that used for?
So it's what we're calling depth vision camera. So it's basically time of flight. That's the technology behind it. And what that allows you to do is it sends an artificial light, and it measures the distance between you and every single subject in the frame of your photo for better depth representation and better light representation.
I love seeing the new bokeh video effect. So bokeh, or that blurred background effect, which is very trendy. Some people call it portrait mode. It's usually just for photos. But now you've got it on video here, and you also showed better video image stabilization as well, and a cool augmented reality feature where this demo on stage, this was mind-blowing. The person took the phone and they digitally scanned a stuffed animal by walking around it 360 degrees, and then it made an animated version of it on the phone in which you can then further manipulate, make it dance and things like that. That's crazy that we have that kind of power in our pocket.
Right. So with the depth vision camera, it allows you to, like you said, do live focus video. So live focus has always been a feature that our users love for taking photography and stills and having that blurred background in which you can sort of adjust the amount of blur, so you get that DSLR type effect. So what we're doing now is bringing that technology into video. So the ability to not only do that in stills, but in your videos as well. So you get that very professional footage with the blurred background.
All right, now let's talk about the stylus pen. As I mentioned, one of the hallmarks of the Galaxy Note family. So this allows you to have greater precision when you're writing notes, maybe during school or in a boardroom meeting, or if you like to sketch or draw, it gives you that extra dexterity, if you will, to really pinpoint what you're creating on that huge canvas, that big screen. But now with some new features, including gestures.
Right. We've actually been through, this is our 9th generation of the Note. What most people don't realize is this is actually our 8th generation of the S Pen. With each generation, we've added new functionalities, the ability to write underwater with the IP68 rating.
And last year, being able to wirelessly use that button, like a shutter, for example.
So last year, we introduced few new technologies with the S Pen, with the Note 9. With the Note 9 S Pen, you were able to use it based on Bluetooth Low Energy technology. You were able to use your S Pen as a remote clicker for your presentations, or remote shutter for, let's say, photography. So we're just building on that. But essentially, what that allows you to do is it powers the gyroscope and the accelerometer in the S Pen. If you can believe it or not, there's a gyroscope and an accelerometer in the S Pen.
Okay, so those are some sensors that now know the placement of the stylus in a 3D space, right? Like you can use it like a wand, if you will. This is radio, so let's explain. You can move your hand up and down or side to side holding the stylus pen, and that will help you change the content on the screen.
Right, so the S Pen is actually the feature. It's what makes a note a note. So the S Pen now has that gyroscope, has that accelerometer, so you can do basically gesture-based controls, which we are calling air actions. So with the accelerometer and the gyroscope, you can measure the speed in which you move your hand, where you're moving your hand, to control applications like your camera, so you can control from it remotely and have more dynamic controls with the camera app, so you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can actually shift different modes in which you want to take your photos, whether it's night mode, whether it's food mode.
Right. Front-facing camera, switch to rear-facing camera, and YouTube support as well.
YouTube support, so the Note 9 S Pen had a lot of functionalities with PowerPoint, with YouTube, with the camera application. We're just really building on that with the new gesture-based controls.
And speaking of the stylus, I now saw the ability to transcribe your handwritten notes into text.
Yeah.
So your chicken scratch, if you will, using machine learning and artificial intelligence, it will identify what you wrote, show it to you in text with the tap of a button, and that then allows you to edit it or search by keyword or share it in an email or in a document, right?
So the conversion text, that's actually been done on previous Note platforms, but what we've done is just make it a bit more reliable, a bit more dynamic. So we've actually used 1 million different types of handwriting samples tools to better accurately represent what you're writing into digital form. Because if you're like me, I don't have the greatest penmanship, but with the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus, the ability to sort of pick up on not just what I'm writing, but also things like asterisks, things like an exclamation mark, to pick up on those elements as well. So that's from a translating to text perspective. This is the first time that you're actually able to translate to a Word document. So the immediate sort of conversion to Word document, a format that you can easily share.
Yeah, or PDF.
Yeah, or PDF.
And then finally, the CEO of Microsoft came out on stage, Satya, pretty amazing. So what's the significance of that relationship? It's all about productivity, right?
So it's a deeper integration with Microsoft. So whether it's a deeper integration with your desktop or your PC or your laptop, so that you get your call and message continuity, you get your call messages, you get your call notifications, you get your message notifications, you have an easier sync with your photo gallery. So we're just enriching that experience and making it even easier to connect to really the screen that you see that's in front of you for most of the day.
Okay, awesome. So I know some of our listeners are wondering when they can see that screen in front of them. When is the availability? I know pre-orders have started. When will this be out on store shelves?
This will be launching on August 23rd.
Okay, the Galaxy Note 10 and the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. It's 5G, which is also an option as well for those carriers that support it. Thank you so much, Terry. Great to see you.
So good to see you.
And congrats on a successful event.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. I'll tell you more about them after this short break. They are the title sponsor on this program. And I'll also fill you in again about that Hotels.com giveaway, which is very exciting. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops called ZenBooks. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Now that the second week of August is here, we are inching towards back to school time. Yes, I know it seems ridiculously early, but you may start shopping for that student in your home. And if you are looking to pick up something for a high school student or maybe someone in college, I've got some high-tech suggestions for you, maybe for yourself if you're listening to the show and you're thinking of what to get and how technology can help. I've got a half dozen suggestions that I'll walk you through to suit varying tastes and budgets. First of all, a smartphone that won't break the bank. The Nokia 4.2 at only $189 outright. That is a fantastic price for a stellar Android phone. It's a 5.7-inch Android One device, which means it has regular security updates and none of that bloatware you don't want. It's a pure Android experience, and you do get that Google Assistant, a dedicated button on the side of the unit, on the left side of the smartphone. For taking photos, it has a dual depth sensing rear camera, so you can do that bokeh effect, that background blur, that portrait mode that's very popular. It looks great. It looks like it was shot with a DSLR camera, but it is just with a smartphone. And then the front-facing camera, of course, that's used for video calling and for selfies, but it also logs you into your device. So again, it's called the Nokia 4.2. It's a great phone that is only $299, so definitely check that out. Now, to go with that smartphone, you want a pair of earbuds to walk around campus with. The Liberate Air from House of Marley is a great set of those tiny little, truly wireless earbuds that slip into your ear. It has this really cool bamboo-like finish. You know, House of Marley is all about sustainability, all about giving back to the environment and using, eco-conscious products like their own exclusive Rewind fabric, which was made from recycled water bottles and hemp and cotton. I love it. And the sound quality is great. Up to 9 hours of battery life, and then the case that you put your earbuds in when you're not wearing them is a battery as well. It can charge it up another 2.5 times, so that means over 30 hours of battery life in your pocket. And if a call comes in, it has a stereo microphone, so the person you're speaking to can really hear you clearly. It works with both Apple and Android devices, and it is $149 for the House of Marley Liberate Air truly wireless earbuds. Next up, Apple Watch, Series 4, very popular because it can count your steps. You can use it to buy a coffee on campus by tapping your wrist on one of those contactless sensors. It, of course, gives you Siri. So you just raise your wrist to your mouth and you can ask a question. You'll get an answer. Maybe you're doing some homework and you need to get a quick answer from Siri. You can do, of course, streaming music. You can see who's calling. You know the drill with an Apple Watch. But at eBay, they've got it for as low as $355, which is about $45 less than you would find it elsewhere. In fact, there's a back to school section at ebay.com/back to school. And they have deals on all kinds of tech and other accessories that would be ideal for a student, like backpacks and things like that. And they have a price match guarantee. So if you're able to find the same product somewhere else, another retailer, they will beat it by 10%. Which is pretty cool. Again, that's ebay.ca/back to school, and that's Apple Watch. Next up, Surface Laptop 2 from Microsoft is a super slender yet very powerful laptop with a touchscreen, a 13.5-inch gorgeous touchscreen that does have a lot of power under the hood, 85% more powerful than the original Microsoft Surface laptop, which is pretty cool. So you can use it for work and play, and up to 14.5 hours of battery life, which is fantastic. I do love the fact that you get all the ports that you want, and you can leave that charger at home because of the great battery life. It does have a touch screen. MacBooks, for example, do not have one. So I am a fan of touch, and it does have the Windows 10 home operating system. The Surface Laptop 2 costs $12.99. And speaking of computers, don't forget, kids should have good protection on their devices, just as mom and dad should, just to protect yourself from any viruses or other attacks. And I use ESET Internet Security. It's $50 a year, and it does protect a number of devices. So that's who I use. That's ESET, ESET, and they have a great product for all kinds of devices, not just Windows laptops. Second last product I'd like to recommend is the Epson EcoTank ET2760. This is not only an all-in-one, which is a printer, scanner, and copier, but it's a cartridge-free system. So instead of running out of ink always at the most inopportune times and then having to spend a lot of money on those tiny little cartridges, the EcoTank printers have enough ink that lasts up to 2 years out of the box. You get the bottles with the box, and then when it is time to buy more bottles a couple years down the road, they're less than $20 a pop. Very affordable. So that's up to 7,500 black pages or up to 6,000 color pages out of the box. Really, really like this printer a lot. In fact, this is what I have in my home office. I have the model that's 1 year older. The new one is in white, has a few other bells and whistles, some extra speed and things like that. So that's the Epson EcoTank ET2760 for $249. And then finally, Philips Sonicare Diamond Clean Smart, the world's most advanced electric toothbrush. So not only will it tell you when it's time to stop brushing because it'll vibrate and tell you that 2 minutes is up, it'll also flash and vibrate if you're brushing too aggressively. But get this, it works with a companion app that you may have on your smartphone or a tablet, maybe propped up on the bathroom counter, and it'll show you, because of sensors in the handle, where you're brushing and where you're not. That is awesome. So it'll say, for example, your lower left side mark, you're not brushing enough, or your top right, and it'll give you a weekly report as well, and includes 3 different brush heads, a wireless charging glass. It uses inductive charging, which is pretty cool, a travel case, and more. So that is the Philips Sonicare Diamond Clean Smart 9300 toothbrush for $199. So as you can see, no shortage of awesome products right in time for back to school, and also for moms and dads too, like that toothbrush, right? It's not just back to school, but back to life, getting back to your routine. And of course, oral care plays a key role there. And technology is changing everything. So part of that connected, that digital lifestyle, love it. So anyhow, feel free to Google any of those product names to see a video of it in action as well. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. I'll also share with you details on that Hotels.com contest. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, a reminder of our huge contest with Hotels.com. You could be eligible to win a $250 gift card for a free hotel stay, or maybe 2. If you're a legal U.S. resident who's at least 18 years old, here's how to enter. Go to Twitter and follow Hotels.com. Send a tweet to them with a sentence on why you deserve a free stay in a hotel, and include the hashtag TechItOut, the name of the show. That's it. We'll randomly draw a winner and read it next weekend, and I'll announce it on social media as well. well. We have 8 of these Hotels.com gift cards to give away over the next 8 weeks, so you can enter once per day to be eligible for the random draw. Good luck. Forget books, binders, and backpacks. With today's high-tech students, it's more about broadband, blogs, and Bluetooth. With the back-to-school season upon us, many parents are wondering what to pick up for their little ones, and perhaps some tech to help themselves, manage their busy fall schedules. And so joining us on the line to provide a few suggestions that make the grade, we're joined by technology lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch. Welcome back to the show, Carley.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Mark. I have partnered with some of my favorite brands today to really talk about back-to-school tech and just figure out exactly what we need for our kids this year.
Right. So I know those kids listening or the parents who have kids, they know that their eyes are rolling, that we're already talking back to school. But at the very least, if it's any consolation, there's some pretty cool tech to help ease us back into the classroom, right?
Yes. I mean, if I was running schools, nobody would have to go back to school in August. I think it's terrible. But yes, it's definitely happening right around the corner, so we need to get them ready.
Sure. So let's start. Let's talk printers and laptops. I think those are probably 2 essential ones, especially laptops. So what should we be looking for this year?
Yeah, well, with printers, it's like you've got book reports, you've got permission slips, maybe your little ones, you're even doing like practice or coloring book pages. Everyone needs a printer. Every family needs a printer. I've got an HP Tango here. It's ready to tackle it all. It's app-powered and it's voice-activated. So basically, you can print, scan, and copy from anywhere that you are. And if you add the HP Instant Ink program, your printer is going to automatically order ink when you're running low, so you never run out when you have that book report due the next day, which is just the worst. But for me, the best part really about the HP Tango is how beautifully compact, sustainably designed it is. It's just like this really pretty printer that has this cover that looks like a book. It's just gorgeous to put on your kitchen counter, but it's also really compact. So if you're in a dorm room and space is tight, it's great for that space too.
Okay. All right. And I do like that HP Instant Ink service. That's pretty smart that the printer knows that it's running low and automatically places that order to have that ink shipped. So that really amps up that convenience factor. Now let's talk laptops. Yeah. Portability, very important, especially as we get into the older grades and, of course, college. So what do you have there for those looking for a new laptop?
Yeah, so everyone wants a laptop that can handle all their schoolwork, but also a little bit of fun, too. The HP Envy X360 13 convertible laptop. It's got a super powerful AMD processor. It's got up to 14 and a half hours of battery life, all in this very slim, lightweight style that won't weigh down your backpack. You can flip it every which way, so you can use it to watch movies, take notes, or just use it like a traditional laptop. And there's tons of security features, too, like a camera privacy switch, a biometric fingerprint reader, and it also has this great optional privacy screen. So if you're working in a cafe or a public place like a library, nobody can see what's on your screen. They can't peek in and check it out.
All right. So it's a convertible, as you mentioned. So say for your 9-to-5 school life, you'll use the keyboard maybe primarily by typing up essays and doing your research. But then for your 5 to 9 downtime, you can bend back the screen. Is that right? Or detach the screen and then use your fingertips on the display, maybe while flicking through some movies or TV shows.
Totally, yeah. You're not going to detach the screen with this one, but you're going to flip it upside down or and make it stand up kind of like an easel, and then you can use it to watch the screen and not have to support it or lean it on anything, or you can fold it completely in half the other way and use it like a tablet.
Okay, cool. I know some people prefer that over the detachable ones, so you don't risk losing the screen. This is always connected, and it's on that 360-degree hinge. What's the price for that laptop and then the printer before it?
Yeah, the laptop starts at $669 and the printer starts at $149.
Okay, so we've got our laptop. We're going to get on the internet. How can we stay safe while online?
Yeah, I think we all need a lot of help these days staying safe in this digital world that we live in. Kaspersky Total Security is a software that can protect you and your family and all of your devices from hackers and trackers and spies, viruses, and much more. It works on PCs, it works on Macs and popular mobile devices to help keep everything from your passwords and your files and photos secure. It can even help keep you safe when you're using public Wi-Fi, which is really important, especially when you're at school. Plus, there's parental controls, of course, that can help keep kids safe online as well.
I know certainly for college-age kids who are working on important book reports and essays that if they got a virus and it had their files locked out or deleted, that could be incredibly, incredibly frustrating. So you definitely want to safeguard your information with good antivirus. What's the price for the Kaspersky internet service?
Yeah, I completely agree. So it's $99 a year, but that's for up to 5 devices. So it makes the price really great.
We're joined by technology lifestyle expert Carley Knobloch. She's in an LA studio chatting with us about back to school tech. But as I hinted at earlier, Carley, it's also about back to life, not just back to school. And parents need perhaps a bit of help. Do you have any suggestions for parents to help them perhaps manage crazy schedules?
Absolutely. I mean, I think during the school week, the thing that is the most hairy in my house is just getting dinner on the table. It's just, but so whether you have kids or not, I think just having a little help in the kitchen is always helpful. I've got the June Smart Oven here. It makes dinner so much easier thanks to artificial intelligence and an internal camera that are built in. It has over 200 chef-developed programs that will automatically cook your meals to perfection. You can even watch your food being cooked on the app and get notified when dinner is ready with the June app. And you can also use Amazon Alexa to talk to the oven as well. It's actually 7 different appliances in one. It can air fry, it can slow cook, and it can even dehydrate, which is a really awesome feature that you can use to make things like apple and kale chips and other healthy snacks for the kids too.
We are living in the future. Unbelievable. You can talk to your oven and even look inside even when you're not there. How much does that June oven cost? And where can we learn more about all of the products that we've talked about today?
Yeah, the June oven starts around $6.99. And for more information on everything that I talked about, you can head to schoolprep.tv.
All right, Carley, a little bit more high-tech than the stuff we had when we were back in school.
You think?
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much for your time, Carley. All the best.
Thanks. You too. Have a good day.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out, which is powered by Western Digital and its super rugged G Technology branded Armor ATD. It's a portable hard drive. It's designed for those looking for a durable drive to bring on the go, especially for photographers and videographers. Go to g-technology.com for more. Hang tight. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Aside from texting and, of course, taking photos, one of the most popular applications for any smartphone owner is gaming. Virtually everyone is playing mobile games, regardless of their age and gender. And whether you're lounging around at home, maybe in line at the supermarket, or even killing the last 10 minutes of lunch at work, they're free, easy to pick up, and no shortage of great games to download for both iPhone and Android devices. Joining us on the line to talk about mobile games is Walter Driver. He's from Scopely. He's the co-founder and co-CEO of the company, in fact. Welcome to the show, Walter.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
I just played your Looney Tunes World of Mayhem game all weekend, so it's kind of funny that I'm chatting with you now for this radio interview. Thank you for your time. Tell us about Scopely.
Yeah, Scopely is a mobile games company that creates immersive free-to-play games that grow and evolve over time with our players. We're unique in mobile gaming in the sense that we've created a very diverse range of successful games, including, role-playing games like The Walking Dead: Road to Survival, casual games like Yahtzee, and strategy games like Star Trek Fleet Command, which launched late last year. And overall, our goal with all of these experiences is to create really tailored, directed by consumer entertainment experiences. And by that, I mean giving users a chance to really customize and tailor their experience and having, the entertainment really respond to how they want to engage with it so that it feels unique to them and can be, maximally engaging over long periods of time and can change with them as they get deeper into the products.
So when you say that, are you implying that there's a lot of depth to your games, or that you just keep creating new content on the like once you release a game, that's not the end of it? You just keep adding more to the experience?
Yeah, both really. I think people used to think of games as kind of static products because you used to pay $60 for a console game and you would buy it in a store and it didn't change over time. But in the mobile free-to-play era of live services, these are really living ecosystems. And so people come back, often many times in a week. And every time they come back, that each session could be different. So there's in-game events happening every day, and those events may change depending on where you are in your user journey, how long you've been playing the game, or whether you're a more collaborative or competitive player. And then we are adding new features and updates to those products all the time. So over a period of many years, these games can evolve dramatically. I think some people like to think about them as more like themed digital playgrounds where people can gather around, common interests, chat, and play games rather than, a static product with a single mode of gameplay that doesn't change over time.
Right. Do you think that's largely the appeal of mobile games, is that it does evolve? What are some of the other reasons why you think gaming is so popular? Off the top, I mentioned how they're free or close to it, and there's a lot of them to download. What are some of the reasons why you think this is an explosive space?
Yeah, the space is growing really, really quickly. Interactive entertainment is now bigger than books, movies, and music industry combined. And mobile is the fastest growing segment of that. And I think the reason why that is I think a lot of people were really interested in having interactive experiences, but, were constrained by having to buy a console device and not having that device with them at all times, right? So we see the market is way larger because everyone who has a smartphone is now a potential gamer. Some surveys have said over 2.4 billion people are gamers around the world, and they have a gaming device with them 24 hours a day. So that was a pretty big revolution in gaming. And then the free-to-play model also completely reduced friction for people in terms of trying products. So now, the majority of the, biggest games in the world are free, and people can invest in enhancing their experience as they go if they want to. But most of those games, don't limit access to content in any way, and you can play, really unlimited amounts for free. And I think people really like having access to content for free and deciding how and when they want to invest in enhancing that experience more than being charged for access in this era.
All good points, Walter. We're chatting with Walter Driver. He is the co-founder and co-CEO of Scopely, the successful mobile game studio. Walter, by the way, was named Entrepreneur of the Year by Ernst & Young in 2016 and has been recognized by the World Economic Forum as a young global shaper, as well as Goldman Sachs gave him a nod, a big one, as one of the 100 most intriguing entrepreneurs. So congrats. It's very impressive.
Thank you. It's always good to be intriguing rather than accomplished.
Very, very funny. With that in mind, what is Scopely's secret sauce, if you will? Do you think a lot of it is tied to your licenses? As you mentioned earlier, Walking Dead and Looney Tunes, Star Trek. Has these partnerships like this have always been part of your strategy, or what else is it about the games that you create that help you stand out from the pack?
Yeah, it's true. Scopely has had a lot of success working with, major pieces of intellectual property. And we've been fortunate to have some really strategic partners collaborate with us around, thinking about what is the digital experience that people want to have if they love this brand, something that's long-term that they can live inside of that universe. And I think we've had a really unique track record of successfully translating intellectual property into digital universes. And so that is unique about Scopely, but I think it's only one part of our secret sauce, if you will, because having a free product in a free-to-play live service era of gaming, like having a great brand may get people to download your product, but it doesn't get them to stick around or to invest in that experience if it's not world-class, because people get to decide every day whether they want to keep coming back and whether they want to continue investing. So I think a lot of our secret sauce there is our technology platform that really allows us to optimize our experience at a broad level. We're tracking over 7 billion user actions every day, and we're using that data to make sure that the baseline experience is perfect for as many players as possible.
We'll be right back with more Scopely, but first, thank you to ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/us/radio for more. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
Tech Check It Out is powered by the Hotels.com app. Download it today to find your perfect stay. Be there, do that, get rewarded. Download the Hotels.com app from the App Store or Google Play. And I'll remind you about our awesome Hotels.com giveaway and how to enter shortly. But let's continue our chat with Walter Driver, co-founder and co-CEO at Scopely, a studio that creates mobile phone games. Are you able to share what you're working on for, say, the fall?
Well, we're always working on, as you noted in Looney Tunes, like we're very, very focused on evolving the live franchises, and sometimes pretty significant ways to make sure that they remain dynamic and interesting for the millions of people that are playing our games every day. So that's always our number one focus. But we also have some exciting new products in development that we hope to be able to share, more about in the coming months as well. And we do have a very exciting new space here in LA that we shared recently, where Scopely's growing its footprint and continuing to scale our talent, and
Nice.
And so we have an exciting new office to move into next year.
That's great. Congrats. Walter, what's your most popular Scopely game in terms of downloads? And what about the highest grossing game that you've got with those optional in-game purchases that you can make?
We've had a pretty diverse group of products that have been very successful today. We've launched 6 consecutive franchises in a row that will achieve over 100 million in lifetime revenues each, and that includes products like Yahtzee, which is probably played by the most users every day today, and where we see really incredible levels of engagement. The average player is playing 88 turns a day, so it's something that people love to come back to throughout their day in many short sections and play frequently. And Star Trek Fleet Command, the first MMO strategy game that we launched on mobile in November of last year, is off to an incredible start and is probably the game that is generating the most revenues today. But we do have a pretty diverse portfolio of exciting stuff happening across the portfolio.
So for those who don't play a lot of mobile games, or maybe they haven't paid for any content, can you just enlighten our listeners with what we're talking about here? They're microtransactions. It's $1 or $2 or $3. And what are the kinds of things you, for example, can buy within the Star Trek game?
Yeah, so all of our games are free to play, and the majority of our revenue comes from in-app purchases of virtual currency. So people come into a game and they use real money to buy in-game currency, and then they can use that currency to enhance, optimize their experience in whatever way that they want. It varies substantially by game. So in Yahtzee, you might use that currency to get extra rolls in a tournament. So you normally have 13 turns, 3 rolls each, and you might be able to get 1 extra roll across those 13 turns. But you might also use virtual currency to enter premium tournaments with special prizes. Whereas in Star Trek, you might use that currency to be able to optimize your fleet of spaceships, or to staff those spaceships with the officers that you find most exciting, or to enhance some of the attributes of those officers. So it varies pretty wildly by game, but as I said, what's unique about it is that playing the game doesn't cost any money. It's completely optional if you want to decide to start spending money. And what we see is that people really see it as a chance to invest in their experience over time, rather than being charged for access. And I think that's a really big change from traditional content models in the direct-to-consumer world that I think is exciting and directed by consumer experiences.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the freemium model. I think it's a win-win, certainly. Hey, Walter, thank you so much for your time. What's the best website for those who are listening to learn more about Scopely and check out your assortment of games?
Yeah, you can learn more at Scopely.com or type in Scopely in the App Store or Google Play to find our games.
Have a great rest of your summer, Walter. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Before we wrap up today's show, a quick reminder of our huge contest with Hotels.com. You could be eligible to win a $250 gift card. If you're a legal U.S. resident who's at least 18 years old, here's how to enter. Go to Twitter, follow Hotels.com, send them a tweet with a sentence on why you could use a free stay in a hotel, and include the hashtag #TechItOut. That's it. We're going to randomly draw a winner and read it next weekend, and I'll announce it on social media as well. And to remind you, we have 8 of these to give away. Today is the first week, so 1 per week, and then you can enter once per day to be eligible for the random draw. Good luck. And thank you one last time to the sponsor of this show, ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. ASUS, for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. And also a thank you to Western Digital, the makers of the G Technology branded Armor ATD portable hard drive, designed for content creators on the go, like photographers and videographers, for a smart way to back up all of your important information in a durable way. Go to g-technology.com for more. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Good luck in entering the Hotels.com contest for that $250 gift card towards a hotel stay. We'll catch up with you next time on Tech It Out. Bye-bye, everyone. Speak to you soon.